Welcome back to the advertising track of the Marketing Innovation Summit. I'm so happy to welcome all marketeers here on board, and we start with one of the most challenging advertising around mobile, programmatic, and video. He joined Google in 2008, initially in charge of launching YouTube and the Google Display Network across Europe. Today, he leads Google's Publishers Business Solutions team, providing technical support and monetization options to maximize publishers' ad revenues. Please welcome my old-time friend on the stage, Mr. Benjamin Faes.
That's it? Okay, all right. I've been told it's dangerous. I need to stay here for a while. Good afternoon, everyone. Very grateful of you to join on the digestion spot. There's a hidden camera that will track anybody that's trying to snooze during this presentation, so pay attention. My name is Ben Faes. I lead the partnership team at Google in EMEA, and I'd like to talk to you today about ad blocking. The subject is very complex. It's been taking a lot of pace recently. And the reason I want to take the stage to speak about ad blocking is because I think it's a huge threat for the whole internet, free internet ecosystem. And what I'd like to do in the next 10 minutes is more share openly how we think about it at Google, and hopefully how we can work all together to tackle the issue. Before I jump into this, there is one thing that I've learned over the last 15 years of selling advertising one way or the other on the internet, is that the context in which you operate matters a lot. Context changes all the time, and the big context of today is this. We're living in a world of mobile. You've heard it before, the year of mobile, etc. This time it's very different, and this for two reasons. The first one is mobile technology allows now billions of people, billions of new people to connect to the internet for the first time. We expect that in the next 4 years, we'll have another 2 billion people connected to the internet. We have to pause on this and think. That's a massive opportunity. It's almost going to double the number of people connected to the internet. So things are just getting started, but they're getting started in a new world where people access the web only through a mobile phone. I was in Nigeria recently. 95% of the internet traffic is going through mobile. The second reason why mobile is so important is that it actually is changing the way we consume the internet. We check those things 150 times a day on average. 150 times a day. We spend around 3 hours per day on those mobile devices. So it's not exactly the same internet as we discovered it on the desktop. It's an internet that's always there, always in your pocket, extremely powerful, that is always on, that knows also a lot about yourself, so that can anticipate what you want. You've seen all the hype about Assistant and how your phone can anticipate what you actually need. So those two things are extremely important to understand what we want to do in the future. And as I said, context is fundamental in trying to find the solution. Google has built a very successful ad ecosystem based purely on context. Those ads that you see on the top of search, they do two things. They know exactly what you want, and they don't interrupt your experience. So we strive to try to find the best ad at the best moment. And if you have this in mind, you realize that a lot of publishers, a lot of websites, they're not doing this. They're not doing two things. They're not optimizing their site for mobile, and they're not creating the best ad experience for their website. I've seen tons of publishers actually who build a website, and then the ad is a completely different team. It's often outsourced, and it has nothing to do with the same experience. So let me give you an example. This is, in summary, why mobile is annoying. I'm not waiting for my slide to load. Actually, the organizer were telling me, we're very sorry, we have a problem with your slide 5. That's the problem of mobile. It's a problem that it is painful to navigate the web on mobile. It is painful because it is slow, because honestly, myself, when I receive a link to check on an email, for example, I often take the decision to wait till I get back to my desktop to check it, because the anxiety of going through this page that loads, some pages load 15, 30 seconds, that's just unacceptable. So the first thing we did at Google, we started working on a project called Accelerated Mobile Pages. It's an open source project that was built out of an initiative we launched last year called the Digital News Initiative. And what we did with Digital News Initiative is we worked with tens of publishers from across Europe to try to understand how to tackle the most difficult issues, and how to build a mobile experience that is lightning fast, that gives you again the joy of navigating the web on mobile. So this is what those mobile pages are about. It's really an open source project, so we've designed the whole product through work streams with now almost hundreds of publishers to try to define how the experience should behave, how the ads should interact with the content, what principles should we adopt, and how to make those pages really lightning fast, with this idea that speed should be the #1 driver of those pages. Today, I'm happy to say that, so we've done a soft launch of those pages on Google Search at the end of February. We see about 250,000 mobile pages being published every single day. We see them published in 13 different countries and from 17,000 different domains. And what we see on those mobile pages is that on average, they load 4 times faster than the normal page. So that's success #1. The success #2 is they consume 10 times less data, which is also a massive improvement for anybody on a fixed data plan. So the first thing is rethink of the experience and how the experience can be actually beautiful on a mobile screen. The second element is, this is one thing that makes me very sad. Not this ad, which is a great ad, but the fact that I hear over and over again, I don't like advertising. Ads are boring. Ads are bad. And this is just unacceptable. Ads are actually great. I love ads. I'm maybe biased. I've been selling ads for too long. But ads can be useful. They can be entertaining. They can be joyful. Ads are great. I don't know how many of you have been to North Korea or Cuba. A world without ads is quite sad. So I really want to point out that we can create great ad experience. The picture that you see here sorry, is an ad from John Lewis during the last Christmas. I think you'll see somebody from John Lewis later. This ad is a 2-minute long ad, and it got 24 million views on YouTube. 24 million people who chose to see 2 minutes of an advertising. And there's plenty of examples of that. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the most viewed video on YouTube are ads. With one very famous, I'm sure you've seen it, the ad for Nike during the last Soccer World Cup, 5-minute long ad, 93 million views this morning again, I checked. So ads can be great. The problem is there are bad ads out there. There are ads that trick you to click, trick you to get you to places you don't want to go, are really annoying in your navigation. Maybe are sniffing some data about you, are installing malware, and those ads are destroying the reputation of the advertising ecosystem. So that's why at Google, we're investing a lot to block those bad experiences. We actually block around 2 million creative every single day. 2 million different pieces of ads, not impressions, just different creative are blocked every single day. That gives you a bit of an idea of the scale of the problem. We blocked also 25,000 apps that are implementing bad ad experience for users. Sorry, it's a bit dry. And this is where I'm getting to. This is something that we have to solve together. You know, ad blocking is a phenomenon where you have one bad experience on one site that leads you to install an ad blocker, and you throw the baby with the bathwater. Everybody gets punished. It's the same as the naughty kid at the back of the classroom, where all the classroom gets punished because of one behavior. That's something that we need to address together. And we need to address it together because, again, as I said at the beginning, it's a matter of survival for the free internet. I'm fundamentally passionate about the free speech, the quality journalism. This lives only on advertising. And when those sites are seeing already 40% of their users blocking ads, they have two options. Either they die or they react, and they react by putting paywalls, by making their content for pay, that block you from seeing the content if you had an ad blocker, basically worsening the internet experience. So what we would like to do to you will hear Google speak a lot about ad blocking this year. The first thing we'd like to do with the industry is define a better ad standard. Define a standard of acceptable ads. And for this, we really need to work together. We've actually started publishing a test protocol on how to test ad experience. And we're partnering with publishers to test hundreds of different ad implementation to see which ones are acceptable and which ones are really not. And once we do that, we're able to define which ads should be on the internet and which one we should keep out together. I've been a bit too long, so I just have 1 minute for question, but this is in a nutshell what I wanted to share with you today. Thank you. Any quick question? No? All right, thank you.